Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Aquatic Ballpark. We're covering the under-18 games here today. It's the Manly Eagles taking on the Canterbury Vikings. It's our very first coverage of an under-18 game on EBSN. We've got Josh Beasley taking that hit by pitch in the thigh. He's going to be the first runner for the Manly Eagles side this afternoon. Canterbury had a pair of runners on courtesy of back-to-back walks in the first inning before a line drive to Mikey Amir for the first out, with the double play completed over to Tom Butler at first base for the second out, and then Max Milner made the catch at centre field for the third out to finish the top of the first inning. As we have a check over at first base, Beasley down in the dirt and on the base in this occasion. Beasley takes off and the pitch is thrown high, and Beasley is going to be caught stealing at second base. Very good throw by the Canterbury catcher. That'll be the first out on the bottom of the first inning here, with Zach Murphy batting for the Manly Eagles. Blustery conditions here today at Aquatic Ballpark, but the sun is pushing through the clouds, so it's a pretty good day. The wind is taking a little bit of the bite off out of the sun as Zach Murphy takes ball 2 there. He's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. And that pitch down for ball 3, so now 3 balls and no strikes here for Zach Murphy. And that pitch inside for ball 4, so Zach Murphy is on board with a base on balls here with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Tom Newbold the batter now, and he's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. That pitch down in the dirt, 3 balls and no strikes here for Newbold. Zach Murphy takes off. And I'm one pitch ahead of myself. That's ball 3. And now 3-0 for Newbold. And Zach Murphy will be credited with a... No, he didn't go. And that's strike 1 on the outside corner. So 3 balls and 1 strike for Tom Newbold. Check over at first, and Murphy's down on his front into the base. As Tom Newbold puts that ball foul, that's going to fill this count up at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch hit on the line to the shortstop, and it's going to be another double play. Similar circumstances to the Manly double play turned in the top of the first inning, and that's going to end the first inning here. Both teams yet to score here in this under-18s game. We'll be back shortly with the top of the second inning. So 1-2-3 inning there for Luke Brown in the top of the first inning. Gets the Manly bats back in action. We're in the bottom of the second here in the under-18 game between the Manly Eagles and the Canterbury Vikings. Tom Butler ahead here, 2 balls and no strikes. There's a strike there from the starting pitcher, Jacob Foster, for the Vikings. 2 balls and a strike now. And Butler grounds that ball to the shortstop for the Vikings. Throws it across the diamond. Good stretch there by Jesse Toome to complete the out. First out here in the bottom of the second inning. And it's going to be the pitcher, Luke Brown, to hit for himself this afternoon. And that first pitch offering to Brown is lifted into left field. That's going to be a single for Luke Brown. And the Eagles have a board with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. Mikey Meir for the Eagles here. 1 out and 1 on. Third baseman turning a nice double play in the top of the first inning. As a check over to first. Keeping Brown close. Mikey puts that back to the pitcher. It's going to be a double play over to shortstop and to first base, and that will be the third double play of this ball game. And Jacob Foster will get out of this very cheaply with that double play. And after 2, both teams yet to score. So James Notley-Smith leading off for the Vikings here in the top of the third inning. And he is ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. Luke Brown out for his third inning of work, and he gets a swing there from the Canterbury right fielder. 2-2 now. And a strike 3 there, swinging by Notley-Smith. That'll be the first out of the top of the third inning. If you are watching live at home, you can jump on to Game Changer and follow all the play-by-play action live. Just got to subscribe. You can check out all the lineups live on there, as well as all the pitch-by-pitch analysis. And that pitch from Luke Brown in for a strike. That ball inside, a ball and a strike now for Brown. Luke Brown, 23.2 innings on the season so far. And strike 2 there. A ball and 2 strikes for the hit at Small. Zach Small, the left fielder. Ground ball to the shortstop. Beasley can't glove it. Bounces off the front of the glove, and he'll be on board via the error. Luke Brown sporting a 1.90 ERA. Left-handed sidearm pitcher. Throw over to first base, keeping Small close there. 6 runs earned on 7 hits. 5 runs earned on 7 hits, with 35 strikeouts and 19 walks. So a good strike to walk ratio there. 1.5 strikeouts per inning. So it's back to the top of the lineup for the Vikings. Chase Charby in the leadoff spot. Walked in his first at bat. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Check over at first, Small back in on the ground. Two balls and no strikes here for Charby. As Brown delivers, 2-0 pitch, and it's going to be high for ball 3. And that pitch missing outside for ball 4, so back-to-back walks for Chase Charby. Keanu Cowley now for the Vikings. Also walked in his first at bat, but was part of that Mikey Amir to Tom Butler double play. As that ball gets away from catcher Ollie Stokes, so the Canterbury Vikings are going to have 2 runners in scoring position here with only 1 out. Charby and Small moving up an extra 90 feet, and an opportunity for Cowley to give the Vikings a lead here. And that ball is in for strike 1. 2 balls and a strike now. Swing and miss there by Cowley, so he evens the count. 2-2. That pitch just missing outside, so 3-2. Cowley's worked it full. Oh no, 2-2. There you go, Ben, you were correct. So 2-2. That's the 3-2 pitch. So payoff pitch here for Brown, needing to get an out. And that pitch is going to be lifted into right field. It's going to get down in front of Max Milner. It's going to score 1 for the Vikings. Runners not taking off straight away. Made sure the ball was going to get down. So only 1 run coming in for the Vikings there. Playing it safe on the bases. But it's going to be an RBI single into right field for Keanu Cowley. The Vikings are going to take an early 1-0 lead here. Nathan Howarth fouling that one over the screen and into somebody's car in the car park. Someone parking in the danger zone directly behind the main diamond here. Everyone peering over. Check out whose car it is. That pitch up for ball 1, so a ball and a strike. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. The Vikings scoring off the bat of Keanu Cowley. An important early run for the visitors. Luke Brown just struggling with a bit of command control to start this one. Hey, Chiefs got Cowley picked off. Butler throws it over to Beasley. The runner's going to come home. Beasley's going to turn his attention to the runner coming home for a second, which Deeks Cowley took off to go back to second. Beasley went to throw home, realised he didn't have a play, stayed with Cowley. So it's some sacrificial base running by the Canterbury runner. Cowley gets picked off, but stays in the rundown long enough to allow Chase Charby to score, and Canterbury are going to go ahead 2-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning. That pitch fouled off again for Nathan Howarth. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Luke Brown 1 pitch away from getting this inning finished. That pitch high for ball 2. Two balls and 2 strikes now. Good long at bat here by Nathan Howarth, fouling that one off over the first base dugout. Counter remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. That pitch on the outside corner for ball 3. So Howarth has worked it all the way back to fill it up. Important pitch here coming up for Luke Brown. That ball lifted into left field. Zach Murphy stands still, raises the glove and puts the squeeze on it. That's the third out of the top of the third. Manly will come up with Ollie Stokes, Max Milner and Chris White, and will look to get back those runs scored by Canterbury in the top of the inning. So Ollie Stokes here, the catcher for the Eagles. He's going to lead things off in the bottom of the third inning. Eagles behind 2-0. Canterbury catching in on an opportunity in the top of the third inning. Score the first runs of this game. Ollie hitting 300 on the season, 6 for 20 with 3 runs, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, 2 hit by pitch and 2 stolen base. As he lifts that into left field. And Zach Small makes the catch there for the first out of this third inning. So the Eagles down in order so far, despite a walk and a hit. A couple of double play balls by the Canterbury defence, restricting Manly to the minimum amount of plate appearances through the first 2 1/3 innings, as Max Milner, the centre fielder, takes that one down. Max hitting 222 on the season, 2 for 9 with 3 runs, an RBI and 3 walks. and he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Big good afternoon to my assistant this afternoon, Ben Logue.
Good afternoon, Luke.
Thanks for joining us today, mate.
That's all right. It's good to be on board. I can't be out there or playing anywhere with the broken arm, so, help out round down here.
Keep yourself involved. So he's taking over from his brother Andrew, who's playing on free at the moment, and will be joining us a little bit later. We'll also be covering the Manly following this one this afternoon. Both of our under 18 sides. Another free Saturday. Not coaching. Will be a day off, but hey, let's go to the ballpark anyway. As Milner puts that ball down to third base, the throw not strong enough in the dirt, gets away from the first baseman Jesse Toom, and Max Milner's going to end up on second base on that throwing error. So Max Milner's aboard here in the bottom of the third. It's going to be Chris Wyatt. Probably scored an error. Clean pickup by the third baseman. Who then threw it over the head of Toom at first. And then that wild pitch will see Milner move up to third base. So Manly straight away with the runner in scoring position, moving up an extra 90 feet on the wild pitch. And it's going to be 1-0 here for Chris Wyatt. Starting in right field this afternoon. That ball's going to be in for ball 2. So Jacob Foster struggling also with command, similarly to Manly pitcher Luke Brown. But his defense has backed him up. The couple of double plays. That pitch down for strike 1, 2 balls and a strike. Only a small sample size for Chris Wyatt so far. Started 1 game, but has 5 appearances with 2 hits from 4 at-bats. Unofficially leads the Manly hitting with an average of 500. Scored once with 1 RBI, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, and he's ahead here 3 balls and a strike. And that'll be ball 4. So Manly will have runners on the corners with 1 out. And I'll turn the lineup over for the Manly shortstop Josh Beasley. Manager Simon Loud giving the directions from the third base coach's box. Chris Wyatt does have speed to burn, so he'll be looking to move up 90 feet and have 2 runners in scoring position for the Eagles as they look to pare back these 2 runs scored by the Vikings. And just like that, Wyatt is off and he's in. Good throw by the catcher. Mackenzie Dean made a good throw in the first inning to throw out Josh Beasley. But this time, Chris Wyatt just a little bit quicker, going on first move on the first pitch. And Manly with runners in scoring position looking to tie things up here. Beasley with a 1-1 count. And that pitch taken over the head of the shortstop. It's going to be cleaned up by the centre fielder, who's going to fire it back into the middle of the diamond, but it won't be in time to get the fast Chris Wyatt scoring all the way from second base. It's going to be a 2 RBI knock for Josh Beasley, and just like that, the Manly Eagles have tied up this ball game in the bottom of the third. Good piece of hitting by the young Manly shortstop. Lifted that ball up over the shortstop, just out of the reach, and Chris White going on contact ties this ball game up. Check over at first. Jacob Foster knows that Beasley's a base running threat, trying to keep him close. Zach Murphy lifts that first pitch into left centre field. That's going to get down for a hit. Manly on the attack here in the bottom of the third inning. 4 base runners so far. Josh Beasley moving it into scoring position. As Tom Newbold hacks the first pitch offering from Jacob Foster. He's behind, no balls and 1 strike. Curveball from Foster, lifted into centre field. Taken there by Keanu Cowley, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So Tom Butler will bat here with 2 out. Butler with a 300 average. And he will take the first pitch from Foster in for ball 1. Butler 9 hits from 30 at-bats. Something tells me that maths is a little wrong. 9 hits from 30 at-bats doesn't equal a 300 average. That ball just out of the reach of the Canterbury shortstop, and Josh Beasley's going to score all the way from second base to give Manly their first lead this afternoon. Good piece of hitting there by Tom Butler. Manly Eagles are going to take the lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the third inning. And that wild pitch in the dirt all the way to the screen. Zach Murphy moving over the third. Hard turn at third, but doesn't push his luck. Butler moving up to second on that wild pitch. So 2 runners in scoring position now for the Eagles. And Luke Brown into the gap in left centre. It's going to be extra bases and another pair of runs for the Eagles. He's going to try and stretch it into 3. Turns around second base, and he's going to be standing up without a throw. So Manly stringing the hits together here, getting the job done. It's another pair of runs for the Eagles.
Nice little 2-out rally here going in for Manly.
2-out hitting. Very important in any situation, whether you're up or down in a ball game. It's good to see Manly stringing it together, and it's going to bring a visit from manager Pete Warboys. one of the more experienced managers, not just in the under 18, but the whole of the New South Wales State League. Very knowledgeable man with plenty of experience. Just checks on his pitcher, make sure he's alright. Couple of words of wisdom. And I can bet you here that good chance we could see an out. Right on cue. The amount of times you see a manager go out to the mound to talk to his pitcher and the next batter results in an out. So that'll finish the third inning. Manly striking there with 5. So it's Manly 5, Canterbury 2 as we head to the top of the fourth inning. So change of pitcher for the Eagles here. It's going to be Tom Newbold. He's going to come from second base. Chris Wyatt will move from right field to second, and the pitcher Luke Brown will go out to right field. So Luke Brown, his afternoon is done. 3 innings, 2 runs, both earned. Three strikeouts. And he'll turn it over to Tom Newbold. No ERA for Tom through his 5 innings of work. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, and the solo hit. Dean hitting here for the Vikings, and he's ahead here, 2 balls and no strikes. 1 strike, 2 balls and a strike. First batter facing Tom Newbold here this afternoon. Three balls and 1 strike now for Newbold. that ball just bouncing as it made the dirt. So it's going to be a lead-off walk for Dean. It's going to bring up Curtis Woods for the Vikings. Curtis 3 for 20 on the season. 8 runs scored, courtesy of 6 walks and a hit by pitch, but has also struck out 8 times. And he starts with a ball inside, 1 ball and no strikes. That ball hit past the diving Mikey Amir at third base. It's going to be a single there for Curtis Woods. And for the third time today, Canterbury are going to have runners on first and second with none or one out. Jackson Campbell taking the first delivery there from Tom Newbold for a strike. So Newbold ahead. No balls and a strike. None out here. Runners on first and second. That ball down in the dirt. Blocked partially by Ollie Stokes. Got squirted through his legs. Took a rebound off the umpire Chris Lehman. It was enough to allow the runners in Dean and Woods, just Dean, to move up to third base. Woods remained at first. So Canterbury with another run 90 feet away. That ball hit to the shortstop Beasley, turns to White for 1, over to Butler for 2. It'll complete the double play, but it will be another run for the Vikings. And it will be the first earned run conceded by Tom Newbold this season. Nice clean pick up there by Beasley. Soft underhand lob to Chris White, who was Johnny on the spot. Finished with a strong throw to his first baseman Tom Butler to complete the twin killing. And just like that, the Eagles have gone from none out to 2 out, although they have conceded another run. Canterbury closing the gap to 2. As that ball is hit slowly to Chris White, comes in, collects it, soft toss over to Butler, and that'll finish the top of the 4th. Canterbury with a run, and they still lead 5-3. Ollie Stokes leading off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Manly Eagles, and he takes strike 1. And lifts the second pitch he faces into left field. Ollie led off the 3rd inning where the Eagles scored 5 runs. Flight out on that occasion. This time was able to get the ball down to the ground for a single. And it's going to bring up the centre fielder Max Milner. He got things started in that 3rd inning, reaching on the throwing error by the 3rd baseman. Another check over to first. Milner pulling that one, but foul. No balls and a strike. Pitcher and catcher just get together. I'll be charged with a visit. New visit rule this year, limiting teams to 5 visits in any one game. Benny Logue doesn't like that. But these games are timed games, so anything to reduce unnecessary time wasting. That ball down and in for ball 1. 1 ball and a strike here for Jacob Foster. Check over at first. Ollie Stokes with 2 stolen bases from 2 attempts this year. And that ball away for ball 1. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Three balls and a strike now for Milner. And Stokes takes off, but it's in vain as Milner draws the walk. So the Eagles with none out here. And runners at first and second. Chris White batting for the Eagles. 1 ball and 1 strike to the second baseman. That pitch just missing for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike for Wyatt. Wyatt grounds that ball to the shortstop, over to 2 for 1, but Wyatt will be too quick up that first baseline. Keeps the double play out of action. Ollie Stokes moves up to third. Max Milner's erased at second. That's the first out of this bottom of the 4th inning. Would think Chris Wyatt would be going on first move here. That turns the lineup over for Josh Beasley. Singled to centre field in his last at-bat, tying this ball game up with 2 RBIs. And right on cue, Chris Wyatt takes second base. Runners in scoring position now at second and third. Two balls and no strikes. So Beasley's worked it to 3-0. May get the green light from manager Simon Loud. But he takes ball 4, so loading the bases for the Eagles. Bring up the left fielder, Zach Murphy. Bat here with loaded bases. Zach singled in his previous at-bat in the last inning. Currently 2 for 13. Will be 3 for 14 now. With 4 runs scored, 2 RBIs, 5 walks. He takes that down for ball 1. And the 2-0 on the knees from Jacob Foster. 2 balls and 1 strike now for Murphy. Foul tip there. Even in the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Foster battling here with loaded bases. Only 1 out. Zach Murphy wants to extend this Manly lead, and the curveball from Foster's going to be up. Murphy fills this count up. Big pitch here for Foster. Murphy hacks it off, foul. Over the back screen. Count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bit of wind in the area, as you can hear on the effects mic. Zach Murphy fouls off another pitch. And that ball is lifted around the home plate area. despite the wind in the area, Mackenzie Dean parks himself underneath it and makes the catch for the second out. Tom Newbold now flew out to centre field in his last at bat. We'll be looking to capitalise on this loaded bases situation, extend Manly's lead as this game heads into the second hour. And that ball's up for ball 2, so 2 balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes now for Newbold. And Foster back into this at bat, 3 balls and 1 strike. Newbold looking to extend the Eagles' lead here, batting with loaded bases, swings and misses on that one. So the runners will be going on this pitch. 3 and 2, 2 out. Lifts that one, but it's going to stay on the infield rather. It's going to be a catch to the shortstop, Chase Charby, and that's going to finish the inning here. Manly not able to capitalise. Score remains 5-3 after 4 innings. James Notley-Smith leading things off here for the Vikings. As the little cue shot rolls all the way over to us. Thankfully there's a fence in front of us. And Tom Newbold out for his second inning of work is ahead. No balls and 1 strike here. Top of the 5th inning. And another strike there from Newbold, finding his zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball down, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Notley Smith evening the count. And the 2-2 is down, so Notley Smith all the way back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Looking to get things started here for his Canterbury Vikings side. They trail 5-3 here in the top of the 5th inning. Newbold fires in a strike, slow to react, but the first baseman Butler comes racing in for it. Lack of communication, the ball falls, lands, and luckily bounces fair. Although the runner in Notley Smith, bounces foul. The runner in Notley Smith hadn't taken off. So there's a good chance that they still would have had the out at first. But another pitch here from Newbold, and that ball is all the way into the back fence. Ollie Stokes asking for another ball from the umpire, forgetting that that ball is live. Notley Smith realising, sprinting up to first. It won't be any extra bases for the Canterbury to lead off, but he's got the job done. And that'll be Tom Newbold done for today. Austin Brown, his replacement. He'll go out to left field. We're going to get Zach Murphy to the mound for the Eagles. So Manly manager Simon Loud opted to go lefty, righty, lefty. Second pitching change of the afternoon. Zach Murphy, 11 innings pitched with a nice and tidy 2.38 ERA, 5 hits, 4 runs. Only 3 of those 4 runs earned with 12 walks and 13 strikeouts. We'll be looking to work quickly through this 5th inning. It'll be Zach Small to face Murphy for the first time, and a first pitch strike from Zach Murphy. Very important to start ahead in any circumstance. And a swing and a miss there from Small, so Murphy ahead quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. And a nice curveball on the outside corner from Zach Murphy. The left-hander working quickly on Small there for the first out of this inning. Just painting the outside corner. Canterbury with 1 away. Bit of a deceptive move by Murphy over to first, keeping Notley Smith close. That one hacked foul. Murphy 4 straight strikes to start his appearance on the mound this afternoon. The confusion on the count here in the commentary box. As the runner takes off, that ball just missed on the outside corner. Notley Smith's going to get up to second base. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Do you think that was strike 3? Yeah, okay. That pitch just high. So Charby working all the way back. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Ben's microphone just not on there when I was talking to him, so he couldn't hear his response. I wasn't talking to myself. That ball is going to be in the dirt and it's going to get all the way to the fence. Notley Smith rounding third, but holding up. Zach Murphy falling over at the end of that pitch. So Charby's worked all the way back from 0-2 to fill the count up. Three balls and 2 strikes. And he will punch that ball into centre field. So very good at bat by Chase Charby. Fell behind 0-2 very quickly, but battled all the way back. And he knocks in another run for the Canterbury side, closing the gap to 1, 5-4 Manly Eagles here in the top of the 5th inning. So 1 ball and no strikes to the new hitter, Keanu Cowley. Evens the count with that swing and miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Charvey steals second base. So Canterbury now with the tying run in scoring position. And Cowley ahead in this bat, 2 balls and 1 strike. That pitch just missing inside for ball 3. That one missing up for ball 4, so Murphy started very promisingly with a bunch of strikes. Now just struggling to locate his pitches here. We need to bounce back if he's to finish this inning. Still only 1 out here in the top of the 5th. It's going to be Nathan Howarth. He's going to have the assignment to tie this game for his team. Possibly even give them the lead as Ollie Stokes checks back over at first base on Keanu Cowley. Howarth ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Three and 0 now for Howarth. And that pitch is outside, so it's ball 4. It's now at 8 straight balls for Zach Murphy. Probably time for a chat from manager Simon Loud just to talk it over with his pitcher. Give him time to reset. Canterbury now with the go-ahead run in scoring position. And it's going to be the catcher, Dean. Sorry, Dean McKenzie. Canterbury hitters just happy to stand there and watch the pitches go across the plate outside of the strike zone. That ball's going to be low for ball 3, so that's 11 in a row from Zach Murphy. Really needs to find his spot here if he's to get back into this one. He's 1 pitch away from walking in the tying run. That ball's going to be up for ball 4. So it's a bases loaded walk. And it's going to tie the game here. Still only 1 out. The top of the 5th inning. Catcher Ollie Stokes to go out and have a chat. Murphy is only 1 pitch away from getting out of it through a double play ball. He needs to get the Canterbury hitters to swing at one for that to happen. Curtis Woods now. Takes that up for ball 1. That ball's going to be down and in for ball 2. And a foul ball there breaks up the cycle of 14 straight balls from Murphy. Gets into this at bat, 2 balls and a strike. He's got that important swing out of Woods, looking to get some more. And right on cue, there's another one. Soft ground ball for Murphy. Will get a double play and end this inning without any more damage. That ball's going to be popped up, but foul behind us. So 3 and 2. 2 and 2 here for Murphy. That pitch strung out, outside corner, curveball, and it's a second out of this inning. Curtis Woods not happy with it. Turns around the home plate umpire Chris Lehman in disgust. Took enough of the outside corner for strike 3, and Murphy's got his second out of the inning. And that pitch in for strike 1. Jackson Campbell grounded into the double play in his last at bat. As we said, a good block there by Ollie Stokes, keeping the bases loaded. A ball and a strike now for Murphy on Campbell. That ball's going to be punched over the head of Beasley at shortstop. It's going to score at least 2 with Dean turning around second all the way to third base. He's being held by third base coach Peter Warboys. And the Vikings have taken the lead again for the second time today. 2 RBI double by Jackson Campbell. And Canterbury are ahead 7-5 here in the top of the 5th inning. Jesse Toome now with the chance to knock in some extra runs here, extend the Canterbury lead. That ball hit to Beasley at short, pick up, fire across to Butler. The throw's wide, Toome turns and goes to second. It's another 2 runs for the Vikings. They're out in front, 9-5. Beasley just a little bit of a bobble in his glove. Meant he had to get the throw away a little bit quicker than he had at first anticipated, and he throws it away. It's another 2 runs for the Vikings. They've taken a stranglehold of this game here in the top of the 5th inning. James Notley-Smith started this with a walk. He bats for the second time in this inning. And he's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. So the wheel's falling off a little bit here for the Eagles. And that ball's fouled off, so 2 balls and 1 strike for Notley Smith. Notley Smith fouls that one over the top of us here. So Murphy even in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 pitch away from ending this inning. But the Eagles are going to have it all to do, trailing by 5, heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. As Toom takes off, but it's going to be a swing and a miss. Murphy finishes it with a K2. But a big inning for the Vikings, scoring 6. They've taken the lead 9-5 here after the top of the 5th. It's going to be Tom Butler, Luke Brown and Mikey Meir to come up to get those runs back and get the Manly Eagles in front. So Tom Butler for the Eagles. He's going to lead things off. And a new pitch up for the Vikings in the way of Chase Charby. And he's fired in 2 quick strikes to get ahead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Eagles with it all to do here, trailing by 4 as Butler calls for time. And a check swing down to first base. So a ball and 2 strikes for Tom Butler. And that ball picked up cleanly at shortstop, thrown across the diamond for the first out. And Tom Butler will be retired. It's going to bring up Luke Brown for the Eagles. 3 innings of work to start this game before moving out to right field. He swings and misses at the first offering from Chase Charby. He's down, he's behind, no balls and 1 strike. And a nice curveball then from Charby. So he's quickly ahead, 0-2. And a swing and miss from Brown. Down on strikes here. Mikey Mears steps up for the Eagles. He's over 2 for the day with a pair of groundouts. And he lifts that one up into foul territory. And it's going to be caught over there. So a quick 1-2-3 innings by Chase Charby. Finishes off the bottom of the 5th. Consolidates their 6-run effort in the top of the inning. As we head to the top of the 6th, it's the Canterbury Vikings 9, Manly Eagles 5. So pitching change for the Eagles here in the top of the 6th inning. Max Milner comes in. He replaces Zach Murphy. Zach Murphy going out to centre field, so straight swap there. Pitcher for centre fielder for the pitcher. Eagles will be looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning here to get back out there and try and get those runs back before they run out of time. We've got 13 minutes until we can't start a new inning. Zach Small's going to lead things off for the Vikings here. Was the first batter that Zach Murphy faced. struck him out on 3 pitches, but he takes that one for a ball and is ahead 1 ball and no strikes. Misses away for ball 2. Finds his own right there with a strike. 2 balls and a strike now for Milner. Comes back with another one at the knees, even the count at 2-2. And gets a swing out of small. That's the first out here in the top of the 6th inning. Milner will be looking for plenty of those to get this one done. If his side's going to be a chance to win this game at the death. And a single for Chase Charby. Hard hit out to Luke Brown in right field. He fancied his chances at throwing him out at first, but the throw wasn't in time, and it's a single into right field for Chase Charby. 4th time he's been on base today. 2 walks and 2 singles. Very productive day for the Canterbury Vikings starting shortstop, now pitcher. It's Keanu Cowley takes that for strike 1 rather. So 0-1 here for Cowley. Fouls that one back. No balls and 2 strikes. That ball just falling inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Coming up after this game will be the Manly Futures. So the younger age under 18s team. They'll get their first taste of a live broadcast game. As that ball's in the dirt for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They're taking on the Pittwater Marlins. Futures coming off 2 strong wins in the last 2 weeks, knocking over competition heavyweights, the Big Dogs and the Forest Mets. They'll be looking to go into the Christmas break with 3 straight wins, as that pitch on the knees looked pretty good from the Manly side of things. But home plate umpire Chris Lehman calling it a ball, and that'll fill the count up. Another good at bat by Keanu Cowley. For the 2nd straight time he's worked back all the way back from 0-2 to fill the count up. But this time he will go down swinging, and it will be the 2nd out of the inning. Worked it all the way back last time for a walk, but this time just wasn't able to keep up with the extra bit of velocity from Milner. He goes down on strikes for the second out of this top of the 6th inning. And Hayworth there lines the ball into the glove of Zach Murphy, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Eagles trailing 9-5 coming into the bottom half. It's going to be Ollie Stokes, Max Milner and Chris White to get things done in the bottom of the 6th inning with time running out for the Eagles. So it's going to be the catcher for the Eagles, the Manly Eagles, Ollie Stokes. It's going to be the catcher to get things started, is what I was trying to say. And he takes strike 1 from Chase Charby. A ball and a strike now for Stokes. That pitch missing on the outside corner. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. Big rally needed here for the Eagles. They're going to have to do it all here. They need 4 runs to tie it. 5 for the win. This will be our last inning. And that's ball 4. So perfect start for the Eagles. Lead-off man aboard. But it's going to take more than 1. It's going to bring up Max Milner. Shut down the Vikings in the previous inning, in the top half of this one. Check over at first on Stokes. That ball down in the dirt for ball 1. So Charby, who started the previous inning throwing strikes galore, struggling to find his location here. That pitch is up for ball 2. Good patience shown by Max Milner. Looking to get himself aboard any way he can here this afternoon. And that's ball 3. So 3 straight balls from Chase Charby. On the back of 3 from Ollie Stokes. fires in a strike to get himself back into this one. 3 balls and 1 strike now. And a foul ball there off the mask of the Canterbury catcher and over towards us. The Charbies back inside into this one. 3 balls and 2 strikes here. Milner looking to get on base. Grounds that ball to the shortstop. Clean pick. Delivery to first, but Milner's too quick, so they can't turn the double play. But it is the first important out of this inning. It's the lead runner. And they're now 1 ground ball away. Chris White should just be in order. It's going to be up to the second baseman, Chris White, here to extend this inning. If merely going to be any chance of an improbable comeback victory. So ball 1 for White. That pitch up for ball 2. Charby misses with that one up. So 3 straight balls again. But as we saw in the last at bat, Charby coming all the way back to get a ground ball out from Milner. Shows bunt, and that ball's down for ball 4. So good at bat by Chris Wyatt. And that's going to bring Peter Warboys out for another chat with his pitcher. The Eagles lineup turns over to Josh Beasley. 3rd time this afternoon. He'll get an opportunity to bat. He takes ball 1 down in the dirt. Runners at first and second here for the Eagles with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. This will be our last inning of play. That one's also down. And that pitch on the knees is strike 1. So 3-1 for Beasley. And that pitch away for ball 4. So loads the bases. And we're going to have a pitching change here. And it looks like it's going to be Curtis Woods to come on and close this one out for the Vikings. They are one pitch away through a potential double play ball from getting this one finished. Curtis Woods with only 2 innings pitched so far. 2 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. So you think based on those stats, he's probably the man to get it done. It's going to be the Manly Eagles 2-3-4 hit to come up. Zach Murphy will be the first hitter to face. Woods here. Coming up next will be the Futures game against the Pittwater Marlins. Local Manly minor league games. Manly Futures being the younger age under 18 players, preparing them for a step up into the state league next season. And then tomorrow we'll be on air from about 9 a.m. with the 3rd grade game starting at 9:30, 2nd grade at noon, and the 1st grade game at 2:30. So if you can't get to the ballpark tomorrow, you can watch all 3 games live here on EBSN from Aquatic Ballpark. As Zach Murphy steps in and he lifts the first pitch to the second baseman. He'll be out on the infield fly. So just like that, Canterbury are 1 pitch away from getting this game done and put into the books. And a big upset victory awaits them here. Austin Brown will bat here. He came in as a defensive replacement when Tom Newbold came out of the game. So this is his first at bat. Big spot here for the replacement player, but he's up 2 balls and no strikes here. So bases are loaded, 3-0. Opportunity to close the gap by at least 1. That pitch is up and away, so it will be a bases loaded walk. And it will bring up the first baseman, Tom Butler. Manly trailing by 3 here. And Curtis Woods fires in a strike there. So he's thrown 6 pitches. He's got 1 out. He's walked a batter. And he's ahead here now. No balls and 1 strike. 1 out away from finishing this game. Tom Butler drives that ball into left field. It's off the glove of the left fielder. It's going to score 3 runs. It's going to tie this game up. The ball cut off at shortstop. But Austin Brown scores all the way from first. Tom Butler is standing at second base. It's a game-tying double. So the bases loaded walk, and then the 3-run double from Tom Butler is going to tie this ball game up. Luke Brown will bat here with the winning run on second base. The Eagles' best hitter has a chance to win this game. An improbable victory, you would think. That ball lifted into centre field. They're not going to get it done. The game will remain tied. And that will be it here this afternoon. Manly have come all the way back. They've fallen 1 run short. And umpire Chris Lehman calls game on this one. Your final score, 9-all. The Eagles will take the draw heading into the Christmas break. They've come off the back of a string of losses. We're lucky not to lose this one. 3 strong innings from Luke Brown at the start. Pitching in the middle of the game, probably costing them in this one. The Canterbury side dug deep all day. They probably deserved to win it. Definitely hit better. Took more of the opportunities when they were presented. But the Eagles have clutched a draw from the jaws of defeat. Well done to both teams on a pretty solid display of baseball. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. It's our first coverage of an under-18s game. Stick around in about half an hour. We will have the Futures against Pittwater Marlins game coming up. Otherwise, we look forward to you joining in tomorrow for our State League action live from Aquatic Ballpark. But that's it from us this afternoon in this under-18 game. Big thanks to Ben Andrew Logue team effort this afternoon. I'm Luke Eisenhower. We'll see you later.